Welcome, listeners, to another episode of our Finance and Investment Podcast, where we dive deep into the latest breakthroughs and market-moving news in technology, economy, and beyond. Today, we're unpacking a groundbreaking development in quantum computing, a field that's not just pushing the boundaries of science, but also sending ripples through financial markets and investment landscapes. Specifically, we're talking about a recent announcement from Google Quantum AI, showcasing a staggering 100,000x performance leap with their Willow chip. Let's break this down and explore what it means for investors, industries, and the global economy. Quantum computing, a paradigm shift. First, let's demystify the tech. Traditional computers, or classical computers, operate on bits, zeros and ones, that process data sequentially. They've powered everything from smartphones to stock market algorithms, but they hit limits with complex problems in chemistry, physics, and cryptography. Enter quantum computing, which uses qubits that can exist as both 0 and 1 simultaneously, thanks to quantum superposition. This allows quantum systems to tackle problems at an exponential scale, solving in minutes what might take supercomputers millennia. Google's recent milestone with the Willow chip, a 105-qubit system, demonstrates this power. Their quantum algorithm, dubbed quantum echoes, simulated a molecule's exact structure 13,000 times faster than classical systems. This isn't just a lab experiment. It's a glimpse into a future where quantum computing could revolutionize drug discovery, material science, and energy solutions. Imagine designing batteries with unprecedented efficiency or cracking molecular structures for life-saving drugs in days instead of decades. This is why the market took notice, with Alphabet shares seeing a notable uptick following the news. Historical context, the quantum race. To appreciate the significance, let's zoom out. Quantum computing isn't new. It's a theoretical pursuit since the 1980s, with pioneers like Richard Feynman envisioning machines that mimic nature's quantum behavior. The 21st century saw tech giants like IBM, Microsoft, and Google, alongside startups and governments, pour billions into this space. The U.S. government, through initiatives like the National Quantum Initiative, has been a key player, funneling support to both industry leaders and smaller innovators. This public-private synergy mirrors historical tech races, like the space race or the early internet boom, where government backing catalyzed private innovation, creating trillion-dollar industries. However, the road to practical quantum computing remains fraught with challenges. Critics, including academics, point out that Google's Willow demo wasn't conducted on a fault-tolerant or scalable chip. Fault tolerance, correcting errors in quantum systems, is the holy grail, and no one, not even Google, has cracked it yet. Without it, scaling to commercial applications is a distant dream. Still, Google's progress, including last year's error correction breakthrough, signals they're on the right path, with a self-imposed timeline of 5 years to deliver real-world applications. Sector-specific impacts, where quantum meets capital. Let's talk sectors. The immediate beneficiaries of quantum advancements are pharmaceuticals and material science. Simulating molecular structures at scale could slash R&D costs for drug makers, potentially disrupting giants like Pfizer or Novartis. Energy is another frontier. Quantum-driven battery designs could accelerate the green transition, impacting Tesla, traditional oil majors, and renewable players alike. Then there's cybersecurity. Quantum systems could render current encryption obsolete, posing risks to financial institutions and tech firms, while creating opportunities for quantum-safe security providers. Financial markets are already reacting. Alphabet's stock movement reflects investor optimism about Google's first-mover advantage. But it's not just about Google. Smaller quantum players, often backed by venture capital and government grants, could emerge as acquisition targets or IPO candidates. Historically, early tech breakthroughs, think semiconductors in the 1960s, created waves of secondary investments. We're likely entering a similar phase here. Globally, the quantum race is a geopolitical chessboard. The US and China are neck and neck, with Europe and Canada also investing heavily. A quantum breakthrough could shift economic power, much like the internet did in the 1990s, making government support, like the US partnerships Google highlighted, crucial for maintaining competitive edge. Investment and policy implications. For investors, quantum computing is a long-term play with near-term volatility. Direct exposure via Alphabet or IBM was one route, but consider ETFs focused on emerging tech for diversification. Keep an eye on smaller firms in the quantum ecosystem. Hardware, software, and cybersecurity startups could be the next big thing. However, temper enthusiasm with caution. Scalability remains unproven, and hype cycles in tech, remember blockchain, can inflate valuations beyond fundamentals. On policy front, governments must balance investment with regulation. Quantum's potential to break encryption raises national security concerns, necessitating global standards. Policymakers should also incentivize talent pipelines.
Google's mention of Nobel laureates and top engineers underscores that human capital is as critical as financial capital. Near-term catalysts to watch. Over the next 12 to 18 months, watch for 3 catalysts. First, Google's progress toward a 1 million qubit system. Each milestone will likely move markets. Second, government funding announcements, especially in the US and EU, could lift smaller players. Third, partnerships or acquisitions in the quantum space will signal commercial readiness, offering entry points for investors. Conclusion: the quantum horizon. Listeners, we're standing at the edge of a technological revolution with quantum computing. Google's Willow chip breakthrough isn't just a scientific feat, it's a signal that the future is closer than we think. While challenges like fault tolerance loom large, the potential to reshape industries from healthcare to energy makes this a space to watch. For now, stay informed, diversify your tech exposure, and brace for volatility as this story unfolds. Until next time, keep investing smartly and thinking ahead.